This is what?
25.
0.25, and this is 25%. I want you guys to write it down. If you want to go from a fraction to a percent, what do you need to do? From 1/2 to 50, what do you need to do?
Divide.
Multiply by 100. Even if you want to go from a decimal to a percent, you need to multiply times 100. Got it? And it works quite nicely. 0.25 being multiplied by 100, you're going to get 25, right? Now, of all of these forms, usually, as far as an equation is concerned, usually a fraction is going to be the best way to go about it. Usually. A simple fraction, right? If you have a calculator, sometimes people prefer this, so this is probably going to be, or that. You know, usually fractions, for most people, when they deal with an equation, when they deal with unknowns, fractions is the way to go. Now, you guys remember that we said that we don't learn it chronologically, we learn it associatively. So we correlated a half with a quarter, with an eighth, with 1/16, right? And I told you that you need to know it, back and forth. So if this is a quarter, this is 25%, but you need to know that 25% is a quarter. Actually, the most important thing that you need to know is that 12.5% is 1/8. This is by far the most important fraction, decimal, and percent. 16th, obviously, is like this divided by 2, right? So if I divide this by 2, I'm going to get that this is 6.25%. So this is 0.0625. Now, a third, we said that is a point what? 3. And it's a repeating decimal. The whole is a shiva. Exact, non-terminating, exactly. So that is 33 and 1/3 of a percent.
What is that?
I'm sorry? That means that it's a repeating decimal. השלוש הזה חוזר על עצמו עד אינסוף. אז זה 0.3333.
זה לא הופך לשש מתישהו?
לא.
זה לא הופך ל4 מתישהו?
לא, זה לא מדויק.
כי זה הופך ל...
On the calculator, if you do 1/6, you're going to get 0.66666, and at the end it will turn the 6 into a 7. It would round it up. But this is a more accurate answer. This basically means that 6 continues ad infinitum. This is 16 and 2/3 of a percent. Know this, please. Know this. This is something most people don't feel comfortable with, and guess what? It shows up.
I'm not sure what...
A sixth is a 0.166. You're right. צודק. אם אני אומר לא צודק לחלוטין, פשוט אני טיפה רעש וטעיתי. If you have 2 over 3, that is 0.66. If you have 1/6, that is 0.166. 1/9 is a point, anyone? 0.111. So it goes on, and this is 11% and 1/9 of a percent. So that's not as important. Moving on. A tenth obviously is 10%, which is exactly a 0.1. I'm sorry? A fifth is 20% exactly, which is a 0.2, and 1/20 is a 0.05, which is 5%. Of course, as some kind of a means of solving questions, 10% is quite useful. We're going to see that. Now, things that you guys can do with a calculator, kudos. But I will show you all the things that a calculator is not going to be able to help you with. And 11th, we said that it's anyone. It's a 0.090909. So the 09 repeats itself. So it's 9% and 1/11th of 8%. And a seventh is about a 0.14. So it's about 14%. You don't need to know. Well, it does help to know that 5/8 is a 0.625. It's something that shows up a lot, but the other ones, you just take the basic building blocks that we've talked about and you use them, right? So 4/9 is 4/9, right? So it's 4 times a ninth, right? So this is 0.111. If you multiply times 4, you're going to get a 0.444, right? So everything else, please complete it at home. Questions? No. This is a busy lesson. You're going to see many new things. How would you solve question number 2? 17 is what percent of 68? How would you solve it? Yeah, go ahead.
אני נגיד,
כן.
זה 68 נגיד זה 100%, ואז רושם 17, סימן שאלה כמה זה, ואז נכפיל באלכסון ומחלק בזה.
איך משולש.
כן.
Basically, if you like, triangular value, which is not the way you say it in English, go ahead and use it. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of it. Go ahead. But it's a very good method, yeah. Please.
17x חלקי 100 כפול 68.
Yeah? No. It's a,
מה שהוא עושה.
yeah, no, it's not the same exactly. I want you guys to write something
זה
down.
להפך, 68 x שווה.
Yeah. And it's very easy to get confused, and there's something here that works really, really nicely in English, not so much in Hebrew. Please write down that if you see the word is, that is equal. If you see the word what, that is the thing that you're looking for. If you see the word percent means divided by 100. And if you see the word of, please turn it into multiplication. Got it? This works very, very nicely. Yeah, I heard that. I actually didn't know that it was there. It's a very nice trick, and it works fantastically in English. So, if I were to just translate this, and especially if you guys make mistakes with percents, I want you to know this. פשוט לתרגם את המילים לשווה x חלקי 100 וכפל. So, this is 17 equals x percent x חלקי 100 כפול 68. Everybody agree? Yeah, so 17 is how many percents of 68? Got it? So because he said 17 divided by 100. I know, but it's very easy to get confused. And at the end of the day, you're going to get x equals 17 over 68 times 100. Now, you guys have a calculator, so it's very easy to do that. But it's very easy to do this after you've implemented the human elements. Got it? The human element was to take this and to translate it into an equation. Got it? But yeah, nowadays even computers can know this. So 17. No. That's difficult. What is 25% of 68? But it would tell you 25% of 68 is 17. But it would probably not know how to answer the question the other way around. 17 is what percent of 68? Okay, so please implement this. Whenever you see the word is, this is that, this is that, this is that, and this is that. Go ahead and implement it on question number 3. I know that you can solve it differently. Don't. I want you to not only solve it differently, I want you to also solve it with this conversion. Go ahead. And then solve it. There's a faster, nicer way. You can also solve it differently if you want.
עשיתי בדרך שלי ויצא לי הרבה יותר מהר.
אני שמח.
לא הבנתי את הדרך.
יש איזה קצת בעיה מה שאתה אומר. Okay, we said that what is what? What is? X. We said that the word is
שווה.
equal. 15%, we said that it's 15%. It's 15 over 100, exactly. And we said that the word of is
כפול.
multiplication. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. 120. So that's basically, again, if you just plug it into a calculator, it's going to work out. By the way, obviously 17 over 68, that's exactly a quarter. 100 over 4, x equals a 25. And remember that the answer was already in percent, so this is 25%. And here, always simplify before you multiply, right? So 12 over 10, and 10 and 15, you can reduce them by a factor of 5, so that's going to be 3 over 2, and that, and those get reduced, so that is 18. Got it? So you can also do that, you can just plug it into a calculator. Daniel, got it?
Yeah.
Now, why am I harassing you with this movie? I'm telling you this because usually, and please, I want you guys to write it down, on percent questions, reading comprehension is a huge element. הבנת הנקרא זה חלק ממש ממש בעייתי. Reading comprehension is a huge element on percent questions. And what this method does, basically, it gives you some anchors with which to work. For example, you know that after the word of, there will always appear the whole. השלם תמיד יופיע אחרי המילה הלא של of. יש? בסדר? So if, can you take a roll sheet? Thanks. So if you know this, then you can locate the things that you're interested in. You know fast. Sometimes you would have a reading comprehension question that has 41 words, and you would go, what the hell is going on here? If you just look for the word of, you know, oh, okay, that is the whole. And we'll see another question here. Second thing that I want you guys to know. Some people like this better. Unfortunately, Danielle, can you take the roll sheet, thanks. The second thing that I want you guys to know, please remember that you have a part, you have a whole, and you have a percent. This is a triangle. A part, a whole, and a percent. It's not really magical. But basically, what is a part? What is a part? What is a part?
Percent times.
Exactly, percent times a whole. What is a whole?
Part
Divided by percent. What is a percent? Part divided by the whole. Got it? So you have three formulae there. יש לכם שם שלוש נוסחאות. בין שני אלו, between these two you're going to multiply. This and that you're going to divide. This and that you're going to divide. But instead of memorizing three different formulas, people also like this. Just so you know, after the word of, you're usually going to have the whole. שאלה משהו בגלל? Another thing. So you have three formulas there. Another thing that I want you guys to know is, obviously, probably the fastest way to solve this question. I want you guys to know this. I wouldn't solve it that way, and neither would you. But I still want you to know this method, right? And that method as well. And the third thing I want you guys to know is obviously 10%, right? It's very, very easy to think about 10% chunks, right? 10% chunks. If you calculate 10%, you're going to be able to calculate 5%, and you're going to be able to calculate 30%, right? Write it down, please. קל, נכון, לחלוטין, מסכים. אני מכתיב למישהו מעוניין. קל לחשב 10% של ביטוי מסוים. It's easy to calculate 10% of a certain expression. לפתוח סוגריים, עשירית, לסגור סוגריים. ואז לחשב 5 או 30%. And then calculate 5 or 30%. It's easy. So, Esna, how would you solve this? So 15% of 120, how would you solve this? Obviously? 10% is? 12, נכון? 10% זה 12, נכון? ומה אתה צריכה להוסיף כדי להגיד? וכמה זה 5%? נכון, ואז זה ועוד זה, זה סך הכל 18. This is even faster than a calculator, right? And it's faster than ערך משולש, and it's faster than all of the other things. And it's probably the smartest way of going about solving these questions. Without using a calculator, try to solve this, because yeah, go ahead and try to solve this. It's not the fastest way. There is the most elegant way. How do you solve this? Without using a calculator, without using any of the other methods. No, I know, I heard you. No. No, that's not the fastest way. So we already know the basics. Now I'm pushing the envelope with you. No. Well,
both sides.
I guess I could do that, but that's cumbersome. Can you guys give me a benchmark? בזהירות, בזהירות. יש שם אייפד. אייפד, בזהירות.
אז רגע, אני יכול לקחת את עצמי?
מזל ש... לא, כי קודם כל, כשאנשים מגיעים לשם, פשוט מבססים. אתה חייב לי אייפד.
אולי תעשה פה 20% ו7.5?
Close, but that's not bad. Anyone else? 25%. 25%. 25%. 20.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but
I want-
what's 2.5?
Yeah. But 27.5, the benchmark, Gabriel, the fastest benchmark, the smartest benchmark is 25%. What do you have left? 2.5%, right? What is 25% of something? 25%. By 25% is a quarter, right? What is a quarter of 1200?
300.
300, right? רבע זה 1,200 לחלק ל-4, נכון? So what is this going to be? 30, right? So that's going to be 330. Got it? Everybody please copy this. So now, is it שבבית, at home when you review this lesson, I want you to think, I know that you all feel like I know percents and no, actually there are, you know, probably, even if you did like 5 units, you know it probably is as well as, I'm sorry? I know. But you probably know it as well as an average SAT student. You want to find the fastest way, right? So that you would have enough time to solve more difficult questions, and this is one of the faster.
זה מצחיק, כי 5 יחידות עובדים על דברים כל כך קשים, אבל כאילו לבייסיק, בכלל אין שאלות, רק ספרים שזה.
Okay, go ahead. Solve question number 5. Solve question number 5. This is already an SAT question. Go ahead.
Question number
5.
5.
No.
So, how would you solve this? Yeah? Go ahead. Anyone? Go ahead.
I solved it 39.
Yeah?
And I do like curve.
Is 30%, so 10%. Yeah, this one?
לא, פשוט עשיתי 39 ו-X זה 30 מ-100, ואז התחלתי בהתחלה.
Okay, good. So that's triangular value. I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Has anyone? I'm going to show you in a second. Has anyone done it like this with 10%? Fantastic. So from here to here, she divides by 3. So how much is 10%?
3.9.
No, it's a third of that. 30 לחלק ל-3. 39 לחלק. זה 13. לא נורא. זה 13, נכון? Tell me please. Quiet please. Shh. If 10% of something is 13, what is that something? What is that? This is probably the fastest way. So you had the right idea, but finally. Finally, a lesson number 5. Finally, I'm right. In your eyes. Yeah, it's on tape. Yeah, you heard it. Yeah, definitely. It takes more time. Now, you said something about multiplying by 3?
No, divide by 3.
Like this? Oh yeah, fantastic. I think this is the most elegant way. But there's another elegant way. Go ahead, Lubi.
אולי תראה את הדרך שלי, כי לא יצא לי תשובה.
Go ahead.
אני עשיתי כמוהו, אותו דבר.
זו בדיוק הסיבה שאמרתי. Now, let me show you the way I told you earlier. We said that is equal of, is multiply, so on and so forth. So you tell me, 39, what is equal, right? 30% we said is 30 over 100, right? And what is of? Times x. Well, that's it. It's one equation, one unknown. It's probably going to be solved really quickly. So that's simplified before I multiply. The 10 is going to go up. The 3 is going to go down. Before you simplify, before you multiply 39 divided by 3, that's up 13. And the correct answer choice is 130. It really does work. One last remark. It's not that important a question. Anyone else? Anything else? Yeah, this is very
לגבי
good.
המשוואה שעשית שם,
Yeah.
אפשר בקלות להתבלבל כמו שהוא עשה ולעשות
Yeah.
3x שווה 39 ואז x שווה 13.
נכון, ואז יש תשובה. כן, אבל זה 10%, כן. All of the answer choices, by the way, here are nice. Just so you know, if 30% is 39 and you want to go to 100%,
Times
sometimes...
3.
Exactly.
And plus 10%.
Exactly. So this is a very nice, this is a smart way. What she's saying is that if she were to multiply by 3, she would have gotten 117, right? So 90% of something is 170. That means that the thing is more than 117. Take a look at the answer choices. There's only one answer choice. Good. But again, this is probably the fastest way. הרעיון הראשוני שהלך הוא כנראה הכי טוב. Okay, moving on. Yeah, chill. I want you to, finally you're going to know this and you're going to love these questions because they're not very complicated. By the way, the trick I gave you guys with the is of, it already solves about 20% of the questions that you would have had issues. Whenever company XYZ purchases a share, the value of that share decreases by 37.5. Now, I'm not even going to give you guys a hard time. I'm just going to tell you that even if I give this question to GMAT students who have better quantitative capabilities, they still can't solve this question within a reasonable amount of time. The trick, first of all, is to realize that 37.5 is what is the most important percent? What is the most important fraction I told you today? Shminit, נכון? How does this relate to an eighth? איך זה מתייחס לשמינית? 3 שמיניות, מצוין. 3 times 12.5 is 3 times 12 is 36.5 times 3 is 1.5. 36 plus 1.5 is indeed 37.5. Everybody agrees? Now, so Shai, what you have here is a certain quantity that was decreased by, please write it down, 37.5%. However, I want you guys to write that 37.5 is not the right way to go about it. In fact, it's easier, as I told you earlier, to work for most people. You guys have, a calculator, so it might be as easy, but usually, the simpler the numbers, the fewer mistakes that you're going to make. So, something that decreases by 37.5, it's exactly the same as 3/8 have been decreased. So far, so good? כולם מסכימים? Okay? Let's go. Now, let me ask you this. If you lost 3/8 of something, אם איבדת 3 שמיניות ממשהו, כמה שמיניות נותרו לך? 5 שמיניות, נכון? So we have 5/8 left of that something. And I already know that the word of is multiplication. Got it? And this is the best way to look at it. So I want you guys to write all 3 aspects of it. I'm sorry? נכון, בדיוק. במקום להתייחס באחוזים, אתה אומר, אני רוצה שברים. אבל במקום לחשוב על... אתם זוכרים מה אמרנו שאנחנו אנשים אופטימיים? הכתבתי לכם את זה שאתם אופטימיים? שתמיד נעדיף פלוס... אמרנו את זה, אוקיי. תמיד נעדיף... תרשמו את זה כהערת ביניים, כהערת צעד, בבקשה, please write it as a side note. אחרי זה אני אעשה הפסקה, נחזור, נסיים אחוזים, נסיים גם ratios, שזה נושא של בערך 10 דקות, ואני כן ארצה לענות על קצת שאלות עדיין. תרשמו בבקשה, אנחנו אנשים אופטימיים, סוג של כפייה. So we are optimists. נקודתיים, תמיד נעדיף כפל, חיבור ומספרים שלמים. So, Colin, we're always going to prefer multiplication, addition, and integer numbers על פני חיסור, חילוק ושברים. So we'll always prefer XYZ to the correct idiom is that you prefer X to Y. To subtraction, division, and fractions. So here, instead of doing this, I'd rather do this. But instead of doing minus, I'd rather do multiplication. So, x times 5/8, and they tell you that after this change has occurred, the current value of company XYZ's recent purchase is $7,500. So that means this is $7,500. So if 5/8 of x equals 7 is the equal sign, but is $7,500, then what is x? Got it? This is one equation with one unknown. That's it. Yeah. Got it? Question?
I used to look at the economics of this question,
Yeah, okay.
so I'm confused.
No, don't. Actually, on this, and I'm going to show you compound interest, and usually people think about it in a too complicated manner. There's a faster, easier way to think about it. Okay. Yeah, 12,000. 12,000. Okay. Good. Please write down another thing. If you have an increase, if somebody's asking you about percent increase or percent decrease, if somebody's asking about percent increase or percent increase. Now I always qualify this. What is to qualify? Qualifications זו הסמכה, נכון? So he qualified. What does it mean when you're disqualified? נפסלת, נכון מאוד. Now, there is a tertiary meaning to that word, and that tertiary meaning is I always qualify. To qualify זה תמיד לתת איזשהו caveat, לתת איזשהו מאמר מוסגר. I always qualify this. תמיד אני מוסיף בסוגריים. Yes, to qualify. נכון, זהו, זה לא רק. I always qualify this and I say, listen, you with me? Listen. This is a tricky formula. I want you guys to know it. Why? Because apparently I'm not teaching it really well, because people don't solve these questions well. I don't know why. It's a very, very simple formula. I want you guys to know it. What is the percent increase or the percent decrease? And I'm deliberately writing it in English because that's obviously the way that it's going to show up on the examination. Then what you need to do is to say, okay, that is the difference divided by the original number times 100. That's it. It's a very, very simple formula, and let me show you something. I'm sorry?
רשום starting minus final.
נכון, שזה ההבדל, נכון? זה ההפרש.
כן, אבל לא, אבל כאילו...
Let me show you something. Write down 100 and 125. Write down 100 and on top of it write 125. Question. What is the percent difference between 100 and 125? Now, how much do you have to increase 100 in order to get 125? What is the difference between the two? What is the difference between these two numbers? 25, exactly. So you add 25. Out of what is your original number? 100, exactly. So what big, how many percent is that going to be? 25%, right? Okay, good. And that's kind of obvious, obviously, because from 100 you need to increase 100 by 25% in order to get to 125. I never taught it exactly like this, but I think it's smarter. Now, Shai, and only Shai, please. And now the question is, what is the percent decrease from 125 to 100? What is the percent decrease? Again, what is the difference between this amount and that amount?
25.
25. You subtracted 25, right? Out of, what is the original number here? You got 125 and then you went down to 100. What is the original number? 125, right? So if you do this in a calculator, you're going to get a 0.2. A 0.2, if you multiply by 100, that actually amounts to 20 minus 20%. Got it? So this is weird. This is the first time that people pay attention to that, but it actually makes perfect sense. If you increase 100 by 25%, you get 125. If you subtract 20%, you get 100. Got it? So a percent, and that's exactly the point, a percent is not something that's absolute. אחוז הוא לא משהו שהוא מוחלט. אחוז הוא משהו שהוא בעצם יחסי. כמעט אהבתי את האהבה. לא, סתם, הכל בסדר.
שימי תחתיו שישה משהו. שיהיה לו...
או מים, לקחת מפתילה.
שברת שאלה?
שנייה. Got it? If you increase 100 by 25%, you get 125. If you subtract that number by 20%, you get to the point of origin. It's weird. If you go from 100 to 150, you increase by 50%. But how much do you need to decrease this?
50.
No, 33 and 1/3%.
ברור, כי זה
שליש
סכום
של
אחר.
150.
ה-10% מהסכום הראשוני הוא אחר מה-10% בסכום
Of course. In percents, you always need to ask yourselves, what is the whole? Exactly. באחוזים תמיד חובה לשאול, מהו השלם? בדיוק, מהו השלם? ואיך אתה מזהה את השלם? אמרנו באמת שאחרי המילה of, God.
אני רוצה להגיד משהו לגבי הדיפרנס.
Yeah.
אתה צריך, הדיפרנס זה בין המספר החדש לישן.
נכון.
כי אם זה הישן לחדש זה עובד הפוך.
נכון.
לא, להפך, זה מהסטארטינג.
לא, מהחדש לישן.
לא, זה בדיוק, starting, ending, end point, people sometimes get confused. I'd rather use this. I don't like that formula. It has too many variables. This one works quite okay. I think, it's supposed to work better. And so underneath that, is that understood? One last question before we take a quick break. Yeah. בסדר? אף אחד? אז אני מבקש באמת לדעת את זה.
זה not vice versa.
It doesn't, yeah. It's not completely symmetrical. Quiet please. One last thing I want you guys to know. Well, speaking of increase and decrease. Shai, if you have an increase of X% or a decrease of X%, then you can talk about a certain formula, because again we would rather have plus over minus, but it's better to have multiplication all told. Let me ask you a question. If something has increased by 20%, how many percents do you have of that something? If something has increased by 20%, how many percents do you have of that? 120, right? You have 120 of that something times that something. Agreed? So if you have an X% increase or an X% decrease, you had the 100%, but now you have either plus or minus the X%, got it? So it is better to look at it this way than it is to look at it that way. הגדלה ב-20% זה כאילו היו לך 100 ועוד 20%. 100 ועוד 20% זה 120%. זה 120 חלקי 100. 120 חלקי 100 זה 1.2 או 12 חלקי 10 או 6 חלקי 5. מובן הרציונל? אם משהו קטן ב-15% זה כאילו, טוב, היו לי 100%, הורדתי 15% מתוך 100. זה כאילו אני כופר את זה כפול 0.85. יש? And then that way, Shah, you don't need to calculate the difference. You don't need to calculate what was added, what's subtracted, and then change the original number. If you work like this, you just multiply the original number by something and you get immediately the end result. Questions? Okay, so let's take a quick break. We'll come back at 8:10 according to this clock, and we'll continue.